All right, well, besides barbecues, fun in the sun, and a day off from work for many of you, Memorial Day is a time to remember those who have died fighting for our country.
And today, there are plenty of ways you can honor these men and women here in Albuquerque and really all around the state. News 13's David Romero is live at Veterans Memorial Park in Albuquerque with more. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Matt. Well, this will definitely be a day where many will be enjoying some time off, but it's one where we shouldn't forget why they can enjoy that time off and why we enjoy freedom every day. And it's, of course, thanks to all the veterans who serve in the military. Now, in Santa Fe, the National Cemetery up there will have their services to honor all those military members who have served or are currently serving in the armed forces. That starts at 10 this morning. Down here in Bernalillo, they will hold their ceremony at the Sandoval County Courthouse in front of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall. This one begins at 1 this afternoon. Up in nearby Rio Rancho, they will have their parade and ceremony starting at 10. The parade starts at the Country Club Drive and goes down Southern Boulevard. The ceremony will conclude over at the Veterans Monument. And there's also a few closings we need to mention. That includes most government offices. No ABQ ride buses will be running today, and there's also no trash pickup. Now, however, you can take the family out to the ABQ Biopark if you are looking for another outing today. And if you want to partake in the ceremony that's happening here in Albuquerque, this is this morning at 10 o'clock, and it's at the Veterans Memorial Park. This is off of Gibson, just a little bit north of, Louisiana, just a little bit north of Gibson. Matt, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, David. You can also find out all about today's events on our webpage. It's KRQE.com. Click on KRQE links. And here's a Memorial Day history lesson for you. Now, Memorial Day was originally called Decoration Day. It was started to honor Union and Confederate soldiers after the Civil War. Then, after World War I, the day was extended to honor those who died fighting in any war for America. It became more popular rather, after World War II, and was officially called Memorial Day in 1967. Then, back in 1971, it officially became a federal holiday, always being the last Monday in May. Now, in the days before Skype and email, soldiers rarely got to see their families while they were deployed overseas.
But an Albuquerque man has dug up rare film that family sent to New Mexico airmen fighting in the Vietnam War in 1968, and now he wants to return those memories to more than 200 families. Here's News 13's Jessica Garate.
1968. Sherry Malloy was 9 years old. 45 years later, she remembers making that film for her dad, Don Day. They were just one of 269 families lined up at Kirtland Air Force Base to make a holiday greeting.
Merry Christmas, bub.
The films were then sent to New Mexico Air National Guardsmen stationed at Tui Wa Air Base in Vietnam. Art Senna was one of those airmen. Back in 2008, we told you how we worked with the Air Guard to track down the old videos in storage.
It meant a lot to me because my grandparents raised me and they've passed away.
Senna has spent the past 4.5 years looking for funding and a way to transfer the 16mm films to DVDs. A private donor came through, and Rolling R Productions in Albuquerque converted the films.
Color correct it, and we can correct any sound issues or problems, and it looks, well, pretty much like you see now. It just looks fantastic.
Can't wait to get home, maybe we can go nightclubbing.
Not with the little one, though. We're going to leave him out of it.
Rhoda Will, whose brother was killed in Vietnam, watched all the greetings as she converted the films.
It's just fun to watch all the clothes and the hair and some of the fun things that said, funny things that they said.
And when Danielle gets upset, she'll walk around the house like this and stroke her brow and wonder where my pills are to keep me from screaming at her.
Malloy's husband heard about the project and got a DVD for her. A gift, she says, is priceless. Her father is now gone, and her mother now has Alzheimer's.
What goes through my mind is actually, like when I see my mom in this, just hearing her talk and seeing how pretty she looked.
Senna has only found 20 of the families seen in the films. He wants to find the rest so they can get a piece of their family history.
It just meant so much to me to have my family message here. And I knew it was important for other families to have that.
Take care of yourself and don't get drunk too much.
Bye. Well, we have posted more clips and a complete list of the airmen whose families filmed these messages All you have to do is head over to KRQE.com, our website, and click on KRQE links. You know, New Mexico has a lot of veterans and has always had close ties to the military.
This is what the Department of Veterans Affairs Deputy Assistant Secretary John Garcia talked about yesterday. He is from New Mexico and knows the state's military legacy very well.
There's a rich military legacy and history here in New Mexico, and this gives us a time to stop, pause, and to remember that, and to say thank you to those that have served and those that are serving today.
Now, some Boy Scouts in Albuquerque carried out an annual tradition showing the true meaning of Memorial Day. The Scouts decorated the graves of military veterans at Sunset Memorial Park with U.S. flags, as you can see here in this video. They estimated more than 1,000 flags were put out. Other volunteers also joined in to help with the large task. And Governor Susana Martinez has ordered flags to be flown at half-staff around the state from sunrise until noon. The governor and First Gentleman Chuck Franco took time Sunday afternoon to honor our fallen heroes. These are photos from the governor's office. The two laid American flags at Hillcrest Memorial Garden ceremony in Las Cruces on the graves of fallen veterans. Veterans in Santa Fe are expected to honor all military at the Santa Fe National Cemetery. The ceremony begins today at the committal shelter of the cemetery at 10 a.m. on North Guadalupe Street. There is parking throughout the cemetery and at the DeVargas Center. The program will feature Brigadier General Andrew Salas as a keynote speaker.
New Mexico's former Department of Finance and Administration Secretary is now speaking out about his time in Governor Martinez's cabinet. Rick May tells the Santa Fe New Mexican he was routinely cut out of important decisions on the state budget and excluded from meetings. Plus, he says communication from the governor's office was poor. May left that job in 2011 and became the CEO of the New Mexico Finance Authority. He was eventually fired after a fake audit made the authority look better off financially than it really was. Now, May was never accused of doing anything wrong. However, a grand jury did indict former controller Greg Campbell on charges of securities fraud and forgery, accused of creating that fake audits. Well, the attorney for a teacher in Albuquerque accused of groping a student says that is simply not true and that most people who know the teacher are shocked by the story. Antonio Ortega was in court this weekend after he was accused of forcing himself on a 17-year-old girl on the last day of school. The judge did not find probable cause for a charge of retaliation against a witness. However, Mr. Ortega still faces 2 charges of criminal sexual contact of a minor and 1 charge of bribery or intimidation of a witness. He is now out of jail. FBI agents are now on the lookout for a man who robbed a bank at a grocery store in Albuquerque. Investigators say this man right there robbed the Bank of the West inside the Albertsons on Central just after 3 Saturday afternoon. The robber had on a wig and a dark t-shirt, handed the teller a note demanding money, then took off with the cash. If you know who this guy is, police would like to hear from you.
The State Department of Health is issuing a warning about a potentially contaminated medication made in Tennessee that may have also been used right here in New Mexico. 7 patients in North Carolina and Illinois suffered complications after being injected with a steroid from the Main Street Family Pharmacy. The injections contain the same drug that was at the center of last year's outbreak of fungal meningitis that killed at least 55 people. Only 1 clinic that we know of in New Mexico received the product, which was Roswell Family Care. It's tracking down patients who might have gotten it, but so far no word of anyone getting sick. Family and friends are mourning a well-known Albuquerque teen who has lost her battle with brain cancer. Carlene Zatina died on Friday. We first told you about Carlene back in October. Doctors at that time had told her that there was nothing more that they could do after several surgeries and radiation therapy. The ambitious high school student decided to live life to the fullest, graduating early from West Mesa High School. The community also threw her her very own prom. She was also given her first car. Carlene's mom said her daughter's death is just heartbreaking, as Carlene was a normal, healthy teenager before the cancer diagnosis. She spent her final moments with her family.
She's just so graceful about everything and so spiritual, and her belief in God, and she's just in a better place now.
Her mom says Carlene was an amazing young woman, always had a smile on her face, and always found a way to brighten your day. Carlene was 18 years old. Wow, our thoughts and prayers with the family. Of course, Carlene, a remarkable young woman. I think she's going to be remembered forever.
Absolutely, and I think we can all learn a lesson about living life to its fullest
Absolutely.
from her.